Let him cook, I say. Let him cook. Bro's cooking real hard. I mean, I wasn't expecting as much as I saw during his Kojima Productions 10th anniversary Beyond the Strand live stream, but we got a new look at OD, his horror game that he's partnering with Xbox for. We got a glimpse of Physint, which is essentially the spiritual successor to Metal Gear, but a new IP ultimately. And we also got glimpses of endeavors like, I don't know, like a credit card thing, partnership where you can spend money on merchandise for points or something. And Kojima's also doing his own brand of sake and, stuff like that I won't be covering in this video. That was just kind of came out of the blue. But I will be talking about all of the video game related stuff. Oh, and he announced some new information about the Death Stranding movie. And there's a Death Stranding animation in the works. He showed a glimpse of that. But to begin, I wanted to check out OD because he showed actual in-engine gameplay footage, and it looks incredible. And some people already in disbelief. They're like, how can a game actually look this good in motion? But given the fidelity that the Unreal Engine 5 can produce, and given that this is Kojima we're talking about, who's always shown off games in a way where people are like, ain't no way that's how it's going to look like in the final product, and that's actually how it ends up looking. I do think that when we do play OD, fidelity-wise, it'll look pretty close. Obviously, the game's still in development, so it's hard to say how things will change over time. But man, it's looking pretty cool. And for those who were mad that PT was all we got from Kojima as far as horror is concerned back then when Silent Hills was canceled, it looks like he's back. And there's definitely some PT vibes here and more. And so I'm really excited to see how this all fleshes out. But let's actually check out the trailer itself. Here we go. Doors and knocks seems to be a big thing for Kojima. And horror. So, something that they hinted is that, well, there are a lot of hints in the trailer, and I'm sure over time the internet will be filling out the possible elements here, the possible things that have been scratched out. And right here, they talk about 10 years since the blank horror blank blank. I wonder if it's a reference to PT, given that PT came out in 2014, which is about 10 years ago, closer to 11, or if this is completely referencing something independent of that. If it's a hint in regards to the game's story and lore, and it has nothing to do with PT. The cursed blank have once again blank into the forbidden. So yeah, I think over the course of days and years, we'll see people uncover some stuff. Light the fires to celebrate their blank blank blank, and then there's a symbol here. Something, I don't know, almost like a cipher or a map, or I don't know, who knows. This building was blank from a 3D scan of a blank found in a blank. And then blank were blank in a sinister ritual. I'm actually going to play the trailer from this high quality version. But yeah, the visual fidelity here is absolutely insane. The level of photorealism we're achieving is wild. Oh yeah, this looks so much better. The live stream looked really blurry. This, I mean, you can really see the detail on everything. Wow. Already the vibes are immaculate. This is horror. If there's anyone who's going to push the boundaries of what you can do with the horror genre, it's Kojima and his wild imagination. It has been confirmed that this will be an Unreal Engine title. And if there's anyone who can optimize Unreal Engine well and make it sing. I think it is Kojima, but how far we've come graphically. Creepy eye in the on the window there. Kojima did say during the presentation that this game is not about lighting matches, that there's a lot more to it than that, but this is one of the gameplay segments. There are babies involved, so definitely, yeah, knocks on doors, creepy noises, first-person view, slow, methodical, traversal, definitely PT vibes. What the heck? Oh, what the heck? Definitely Junjito-esque. And you can see the eye. Oh, yeah, and now it's actually like... the eye's actually moving. It's shutting the eye and then opening the eye. And then look at this. The facial animation fidelity here, the tears on the eyes, the nuances in the shakes, the way the skin imprints with what look like faces. Insane. OD knock. I am pretty thrilled about this. For all players and screamers, oh my. Ooh, that was a bit of audio at the end. I'm curious to see what the internet will uncover, and I don't know, I also kind of want to take a look at this trailer frame by frame or something. I don't know, maybe I'll do an analysis if I discover anything interesting. But that's OD, and Kojima did kind of comment on OD.
So this is a little one step higher than, technology is one step higher than DS2. It's kind of, you saw the actual from the game engine.
And DS2 already looks gorgeous. That's Stranding too.
Very closely to the Sophia Lillis close-up. It's not a cutscene. It's not a demo scene.
It's an engine, yeah. It's actual gameplay. And
what did you think about that video?
Kojima's always delivered.
What an amazing, I'd say maybe
trailers are
teaser
representative of
or a
gameplay.
Glimpse into something. Maybe it's like a signal. When I first saw it, I saw something new, something slightly sinister, but also something that was extremely Kojima-san.
Slightly sinister.
OD
Bro.
is bold, it's unique, and it's unmistakably from this studio, which is just incredible. We're deeply supporting the production. It's our technical work on Unreal that we're doing with the team, both with the kind of flashy, what you see on the screen, but also a lot of behind the scenes work. We have one goal in mind, which is to bring Kojima-san's vision to life for all players everywhere.
And screamers.
Can't
Oh
wait
my.
for players to experience it when it's ready.
We had the SAG strike for a year. We did finish the scan, but we need to do the performance capture, session.
That's wild. So all that's left
We can see this term knock.
is the actors.
What is this?
Well,
The game
knock
is finished.
a subtitle, so I am kind of designing the fear of the knock. So I announced about Jordan Peele before about OD. So Jordan has his kind of own different one, and of course we'll create as a game, but OD something, there's a different kind of fear Jordan will do. Mine is the knock is the fear.
So that's the part that I wanted to highlight that kind of caught my ears. OD seems to be multiple things in one. So this specifically, what we saw here specifically is OD knock. Jordan Peele is working on another OD something, and the subtitle represents the kind of fear that will be at the center of the experience. So what Kojima is working on here is OD knock, And he mentions here later that one of the scariest things for him is like a sudden sound of a knock. That apparently scares him. So that was his inspiration for this kind of OD experience. But it looks like there will be other versions of ODs that will have different subtitles with different fears. And that's a fascinating concept. Kojima did hint that OD is kind of unique in its format, that it's like multimedia maybe potentially. So maybe Jordan Peele is working on, I don't know, either something more film-centric, maybe given that he is a movie director, or there's just going to be another interactive version of OD that has a different subtitle, that is a separate experience. And I'm just curious to see how that plays out. The different versions of ODs with the different fear subtitles that are titled after the central fear component. In this case, the knock on the door. So that's
The fear varies depending on director.
interesting stuff indeed.
I really am afraid of the big knock sound.
There it
That's
is.
why I thought, the knock is like the frightening. And I can't really talk about the red door, but there's so many hints in the teaser. Like you see the sticker of the eye, but probably I hope a lot of people will talk about it.
Very PT-esque
What
that.
happened when we turn on the candles?
Well, it's a game, and it's all like not a cutscene, so it's not a game about lighting candles. So don't get that wrong. But I can't really speak about the matches, but it's really scary. But you'll probably do in your pants or whatever. And but even if you're scared when you play alone, there is something. Well, sorry, my biggest fear is Phil next to me, but sorry.
Oh yes, the red door, the
Phil, I
weird
think this
card
must
with
be
the
so scary.
weird face.
For me, for OD, I want to go around all over the world where are scary kind of places. I want to scan a ghost for the first time, and I want to get an award for that. But anyways, that place that we scanned, there should be a ghost. But you hear this cracking sound? That's actually a sound that was recorded in our studio, which sometimes it squeaks in the studio or something. Maybe the ghost was there, but she's no longer there anymore. But anyways, and that's why we went to the shrine together with Microsoft to make sure that we have a safe build of the game, and we'll probably hire a.
He scanned not only real actors but real places for this game.
Very well, but I can't say so much. But this is a special system. Even the infrastructure is totally new. No one has ever done this before. So I am, repeating, the tests and experiments, and I can't speak anymore. I can't even say 50% or 60%. It's total different. Well, Phil's going to get angry if I speak even more. So
There's no more information about OD, but that's kind of the rundown of what information was put out there beyond the trailer. These are some of the things that they said. So some interesting hints about what the OD project actually is. But that's OD. It looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks like we're so back with Kojima horror. And then here we have a glimpse of Death Stranding Mosquito, which is an animation, and it has really interesting visuals. Actually, let me pull up the high-quality version of this trailer. So yeah, here we go. This is kind of the trailer that they released and teased. It's called Death Stranding Mosquito, seemingly because of whatever organism is in his mouth that almost behaves like a mosquito's, sting. I think the exact words that they use, the way the translation put it, was that he has this because he has to suck something very important. Was literally verbatim what was said. Very, very, very kinky indeed. But yeah, there's a little more than this. Very interesting visual style, and I'm curious to see how this will expand upon the lore and world of Death Stranding. Oh, he's got pet BTs, it would seem. Interesting to note is that he doesn't seem to be affected by timefall. He doesn't have the hoodie on. Yeah, very, very fascinating visual style. Never seen anything quite like it. There it is. Working title. Man has to suck something important. That's all we really know about it. But I'll be keeping an eye out on this. And then they talked about the director of the Death Stranding live-action movie. That's going to be handled by A24. And the director of the third Quiet Place entry. So seemingly it's in good hands. And both Kojima and A24 seem very confident they can handle a Death Stranding movie. And they talked about how they want this to be both something that fans of the games will recognize, but also something that can stand on its own. So clearly it's not just going to be a recreation of the Sam Porter Bridges saga that Kojima has told. It's probably going to be something of its own that is going to tell its own story. So I'm excited to see how they pull that off. And then last but not least, the thing that I'm probably most excited for as a huge Metal Gear fan is new information revealed about the upcoming tactical espionage video game, Physint. Or rather, action espionage is, I believe, the terminology that's being used by Kojima to describe the kind of experiences. Is same difference, you know. They actually showed some key art, and they also showed they revealed some of the cast members. They haven't revealed the protagonist yet, but they've revealed some of the supporting characters, and it's actually a pretty exciting cast right now. So he announced that Charlie Fraser would be involved, Don Lee would be involved, Minami Hamabe would be involved. These are all actors that Kojima is a fan of, and Don Lee, he was actually in Death Stranding 2. They actually scanned him into that game, but seemingly Kojima wanted to work with him again. But then you've got the actual key art itself, which looks really, really badass. So this is what Kojima had to reveal about Physint. This is the main protagonist. And already this does absolutely evoke Metal Gear vibes. I mean, this almost gives off Shadow Moses vibes in its color palette and just the kinds of structures we see in the back. But I can't tell if this is like a fortress or a city or, you know, either way. It is going to be about infiltration. And you can see you've got a very like clandestine and badass looking character. Very, you know, competent looking already. There's a hint right here that says, "Here comes the feeling." So I don't know what that's all about. And there's speculation about who this actor here might be. Some folks are suspecting Robert Pattinson because Kojima has been spotted taking photos with Robert Pattinson in recent months. So you can see right here that back in June of 2024, he took a photo with Robert Pattinson. You can see right here, May 18th, 2025, he was with Robert Pattinson. It seems like, you know, they've seen each other quite a bit. And when people put Robert Pattinson side by side with this image, this concept art that kind of obscures his face, there are some similarities that might suggest we might be looking at Robert Pattinson. That I would be super about that. Robert Pattinson, you know, he's a phenomenal actor, and I think he would play a character that is Snake-esque, but not quite Snake. Obviously, given there's a new IP, he would do, I think, a really good job with that. So I'll be very curious to see how this game evolves over time and what more they reveal down the line. But already he's getting a star-studded cast, and this is clearly going to be the AAA of AAA games. Yeah, basically what Kojima said during the presentation was the game is so early in development still. He's still coming up with characters. I mean, it's still in its conceptual stages, basically, but he's already doing the casting based on, you know, what he's already come up. But he just had nothing. He wasn't able to show anything concrete because they haven't actually made the game yet. So do expect that this game is some ways away. Kojima straight up admitted during his presentation that the game is about 6 years away. Like, he expects it to release in 2030 at the earliest. So yeah, we're going to be waiting for this for a while, but OD is going to kind of be a thing that'll be holding us over in the meantime. And I say, let Kojima cook and let him take all the time he needs to cook because he seldom delivers something that is underbaked or unpolished or nothing. He always delivers just something really compelling and something that does push the boundaries on numerous fronts. And I'm curious to see what Here Comes the Feeling means. All of Kojima's games have a main theme, and this probably ties into that a little bit, but just really cool artwork, really badass character design already, and really interesting aura and vibes we're getting from here. He did offer a small glimpse of the graphics technology of Physint. Basically, this is going to be a game that will likely launch for like the PlayStation 6 or something. So it'll be even a generation above OD, which already is a step above Death Stranding 2. So the graphics fidelity on this is going to be pretty insane. Kojima has expressed before how he, with Asian skin in particular, he has trouble making those look realistic because of how smooth they can be. But with some of the more recent technology, he's able to like get a lot more detail with pores and stuff like that. And Kojima said this is still early, and this is just the early kind of facial modeling work. So by the time we see Physint in full force, it'll likely look pretty incredible. But this is one of the actors, the Japanese actors here, Minami Hamabe, being represented in visual form in the game itself. But again, very early stages. We shouldn't expect to hear about this game for a while longer. But yeah, I mean, if OD looks as good as it does, and that's meant to be like a current gen game, imagine what Physint will look like when it's meant to be essentially for next gen consoles. It'll be absolutely insane, especially given that he's working in close collaboration with PlayStation for Physint in particular. But that's pretty much everything that Kojima showed off, and that's a very casual way to frame that. He showed off a lot. Like, he actually showed off way more than I think anyone was expecting. And the fact that we're already getting teases of Physint, and it already looks as badass as it does, and Metal Gear fans are getting hyped to see what Kojima can do with a new IP that is in the vein of Metal Gear. It's exciting stuff, and he's working on so many projects at the same time. It's cool to see Kojima really flourish because he's earned it. He's worked really hard over the years, and he's honestly one of the most creative people in this industry. He doesn't just pursue just the most profitable endeavors. He genuinely tries to kind of make the unique medium that is video games, this interactive medium, shine through really unique experiences. And I just deeply respect him for that. And seeing him be able to work on multiple projects like this and delegate so much work to different collaborators, and seeing how good OD looks and how cool Physint looks already just from that one art piece, and seeing the way he pushes technology and the way the PT kind of is coming back in a way with OD, given what we've seen so far, and how this seems to resemble the PT experience somewhat, but I mean even higher fidelity and more modern design sensibilities. It's going to be really, it's a good time to be a Kojima fan is all I'm saying. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on all of Kojima's announcements and everything he had to show during the 10th anniversary event. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.